If you want 2026 to change, you don't need more talent. You don't need more luck. You need less weight, less of what is quietly pulling you down. My dear friends, many of you are standing at the edge of a new year with hope in your eyes, but fear in your heart. You want growth, peace, success, meaning, yet somewhere deep inside you wonder, why do I keep repeating the same year again and again? It's not because you are weak. It's not because God forgot you. It's because two small habits, very small, are stealing your future silently. Remove them. And 2026 will not just be another year. It will be a turning point. Let me walk you through this journey, step by step. Many people walk through life with a quiet sentence playing in their head, my life is stuck. They don't say it loudly, they don't post it online, but they feel it every morning when they wake up tired before the day even begins. They look around and think, others are moving ahead, something is happening for everyone else. Why not me? But let me tell you something very gently. Life itself is never stuck. The sun rises every day without fail. Time keeps moving forward whether we are ready or not. Opportunities come and go silently like passing trains. What actually gets stuck is not life, it is our habits. A habit is like a small decision you make repeatedly until it starts making decisions for you. And most habits don't feel dangerous, they feel comfortable, familiar, safe. That is why they are powerful. Imagine standing at a railway platform. Your destination is written clearly on the ticket. The train arrives exactly on time, but you don't board it. Not because you don't want the destination, but because sitting on the platform feels easier than lifting your bag and stepping in. Later, when the train leaves, you say, maybe destiny didn't want me to go, but destiny did its part. The train came. In the same way, life keeps offering chances, but habits decide whether you move or remain seated in comfort. Some people have the habit of starting things but not finishing. Some have the habit of overthinking instead of acting. Some have the habit of waiting for the perfect time, not realizing that perfect time never sends an invitation. And slowly, without noticing, years pass. We often pray, God, change my life, but God waits and says, change your daily choices. Because life does not transform in one dramatic moment. It transforms quietly, through repeated actions that seem insignificant on their own. One extra hour wasted every day doesn't feel harmful, but in 1 year, that's more than 15 full days of lost potential. One negative thought repeated daily doesn't feel destructive, but over time, it becomes your inner voice. You don't rise to the level of your dreams, you fall to the level of your habits. And here is the hopeful part. If habits can trap you, habits can also free you. You don't need a new personality. You don't need a miracle. You don't even need to know the full roadmap of your life. You just need the courage to ask yourself one honest question. Is what I do daily taking me closer to who I want to become? If the answer is no, then life is not blocking you. You are simply standing still. The beautiful thing is, movement doesn't require confidence. Confidence comes after movement. Take one step, just one. Wake up slightly earlier. Speak slightly kinder to yourself and others. Choose discipline once when you usually choose comfort. These are not dramatic actions, but they are directional. And direction matters more than speed. If you walk slowly in the right direction, you will still reach somewhere meaningful. If you run fast in the wrong direction, you will only get tired. So before blaming the year, before blaming people, before blaming luck, pause. Look at your habits with compassion, not judgment. They were formed to protect you once, but now some of them may be limiting you. Growth begins the moment you stop saying, my life is stuck, and start saying, maybe it's time I move. Life is ready, the train is waiting. The only question is, will you board it this time? There is a habit that feels innocent, even justified. A habit people defend by saying, I'm just being honest. But slowly, quietly, this habit weakens the strongest minds. That habit is complaining. Complaining often begins as a response to pain. Something doesn't go our way, someone disappoints us, life feels unfair. So we speak about it. At first, it feels relieving, like letting out steam from a pressure cooker, but over time, something changes. What started as expression becomes repetition. What was once sharing becomes a mindset. And before we realize it, complaining becomes our default language. Some people don't even notice how often they do it. They complain about the weather in the morning, the traffic in the afternoon, their work in the evening, and their life at night. And slowly the mind learns a dangerous lesson. Nothing is in my control. Complaining trains the brain to focus on what is missing, what is wrong, what is unfair. The mind is like soil. Whatever you water daily will grow. If you water gratitude, strength grows. If you water complaints, helplessness grows. Here is a simple truth. You cannot build a powerful future with a powerless mindset. Complaining may feel like honesty, but very often it is disguised surrender. Says, this is happening to me, and I can do nothing about it. And the moment you believe that, action stops. Think about it. When was the last time complaining gave you energy? When was the last time it made you disciplined? When was the last time it pushed you to grow? It doesn't. It only gives momentary comfort, like scratching an itch that keeps coming back. Strong people feel pain too. They face injustice too. They experience disappointment too. The difference is not in what they face. The difference is in what they feed their mind. They don't deny reality. They accept it and then act. Complaining keeps you stuck in the problem. Responsibility moves you toward a solution. And here is something very important to understand. Complaining doesn't just affect your mood. It affects your vision. When you complain regularly, you stop seeing possibilities. You stop noticing blessings that are still present. You stop trusting that growth is happening, even slowly. You may still pray, but deep inside, faith weakens, because faith says even now something good can come from this. Complaining says nothing good can come from this. Both cannot live in the same heart for long. This does not mean you suppress your emotions. It does not mean you pretend everything is fine. It means you choose your response consciously. Instead of saying, why does this always happen to me? You pause and ask, what is this trying to teach me? Instead of repeating the problem to 10 people, you sit quietly and take one small step forward. Even gratitude on hard days is powerful, especially on hard days. Gratitude does not mean the situation is good. It means you trust that growth is still possible. The same situation can either make you bitter or better. Complaining chooses bitterness. Awareness chooses growth. If you want to win 2026, make this a daily practice. Catch your complaints, not to judge yourself, but to redirect yourself. Every time you complain, replace it with one conscious action, one lesson, one moment of silence. You don't need to fix everything today. You just need to stop poisoning your own mind, because the mind believes what you tell it repeatedly. Tell it you are stuck and it will sit down. Tell it you are learning and it will move. Life listens to how you speak about it. And the moment you reduce complaining, energy returns, clarity returns, courage returns. Not because life became easier, but because you became stronger. Once you begin reducing complaints, something interesting happens inside you. A quiet space opens up, and in that space a new choice appears. That choice is gratitude. Most people misunderstand gratitude. They think it is something you practice only when life is going well, when the job is secured, when the health is stable, when the relationships are smooth. But true gratitude is not a reaction to comfort, it is a commitment to awareness. Gratitude is not saying everything is perfect. Gratitude is saying, even now something is working for me. This is not positive thinking. This is spiritual intelligence. When life is difficult, the mind automatically zooms in on what is missing. That is natural, but when you consciously zoom out and notice what remains, you regain power. You realize that even if one door closed, you still have the strength to knock again. Even if one dream failed, you still have the ability to dream. Gratitude does not change the facts of life. It changes the meaning you assign to them. Two people can walk through the same storm. One becomes resentful, the other becomes resilient. The difference is not the storm, it is the inner dialogue. When you practice gratitude, you stop measuring life only by outcomes. You begin valuing effort, learning, and character. And this is where real growth begins. A grateful person does not waste energy on comparison or complaint. They conserve energy for action. Even faith deepens through gratitude. Because when you say, thank you, even for this, you are saying, I trust that there is a purpose larger than my understanding. That trust calms the mind. And a calm mind sees clearly. Many people ask, how do I stay motivated when nothing is going right? The answer is simple, but not easy. Start noticing what is right, the breath you are taking, the lesson you are learning, the strength you didn't know you had until life tested you. Gratitude is not denial. It is alignment. Alignment with reality, alignment with growth, alignment with God's timing. And when you align internally, external progress follows naturally. But gratitude must be practiced daily, not as a ritual, but as a mindset. It can be as simple as pausing for 10 seconds before sleep and asking, what did today teach me? Some days the answer will be beautiful. Some days it will be painful. Both are valid. Pain teaches patience. Delay teaches discipline. Silence teaches self-awareness. When you see life as a teacher instead of a punisher, everything changes. Gratitude softens the heart without weakening the spine. It makes you humble without making you passive. A grateful person still works hard, still sets goals, still wants more, but they don't hate their present while chasing their future. And that balance is rare. This is why gratitude is power. It keeps you grounded while you grow. If you want 2026 to be different, don't wait for perfect circumstances to be thankful. Start being thankful and watch your circumstances respond. Because life has a strange habit of expanding what you appreciate. And the more you appreciate your journey, the more strength you gain to continue it. After complaining weakens the heart and gratitude begins to heal it. Another habit quietly enters the mind, often without permission. Comparison doesn't shout, it whispers. It shows you someone else's success at the wrong moment. It makes you question your own progress on days when you are already tired. It convinces you that you are late, behind, or falling short. And the most dangerous part is this. Comparison feels logical. You tell yourself, I'm just observing, but observation without context becomes judgment, and judgment without compassion becomes self-doubt. The mind was never designed to measure itself against everyone else. It was designed to discover its own path. When you compare your life with another person's life, you forget one important truth. You are looking at two completely different stories, different backgrounds, different struggles, different timings, different responsibilities. Yet you expect the same outcome. That is not fairness, that is self-betrayal. A fish does not feel insecure until it tries to fly like a bird, and a bird does not feel inferior until it tries to swim like a fish. The moment you compare, you disconnect from your own strengths. Comparison steals joy from the present. It makes achievements feel small. It makes progress feel slow. You could be moving forward steadily, but one glance at someone else's highlight can make you feel like you are standing still. And here is something most people don't realize. Comparison also creates arrogance. When you compare downward, you feel superior. When you compare upward, you feel inferior. Both weaken character. True confidence does not come from being better than others. It comes from being faithful to your own effort. Life is not a race where everyone starts at the same line. It is a journey where everyone carries a different load. Some are healing wounds you cannot see. Some are learning lessons you have already learned. Some are ahead in one area and behind in another. But comparison flattens all of that complexity into one false conclusion: I am not enough. And that belief is heavy. It drains energy. It creates anxiety. It leads to overworking or complete withdrawal. The moment you stop comparing, you don't become lazy, you become clear. You begin to ask better questions. What can I do with what I have? What is my next step? What does growth look like for me? Clarity brings peace, and peace improves performance. You don't need to be the fastest. You need to be consistent. You don't need to copy someone else's path. You need to honor your own. God never makes mistakes in design. When you compare, you question that design. You say, without words, I wish I was someone else. But growth begins the day you say, let me become the best version of who I already am. If you want to win 2026, protect your focus. Limit what you consume. Not everything deserves your attention. Celebrate others without diminishing yourself. Learn from others without losing your identity. When someone succeeds, let it inspire you, not intimidate you. Because there is space for everyone. Life is not asking you to compete. It is asking you to contribute. And contribution begins when comparison ends. When comparison leaves, something precious returns. Focus, not the noisy kind of focus that comes from pressure or fear, but the calm focus that comes from knowing where you are going. Not just about productivity, it is about alignment. When your attention is scattered, your energy leaks. When your attention is disciplined, your energy compounds. Most people are not tired because they are doing too much. They are tired because they are doing too many things that don't matter. Comparison pulls your attention outward. Focus brings it back home. The moment you stop watching everyone else's progress, you start noticing your own growth again. Small, steady, real. Focus allows you to respect the season you are in. A seed underground is not failing because it is unseen. It is preparing. But if the seed compares itself to a tree, it will feel broken instead of patient. Focus teaches patience. It reminds you that mastery takes time, that discipline works silently, that consistency is rarely dramatic. When you are focused, you don't need constant motivation. You move because you understand why you are moving. This kind of focus is deeply spiritual. It is choosing depth over distraction. It is choosing devotion over validation. In a world that rewards noise, focus is an act of faith. Faith that your effort matters even when no one applauds. Faith that your path is unfolding even when results are slow. Focused people don't rush growth. They respect process. They show up when they feel like it, and they show up when they don't. They understand that discipline is not punishment. It is self-respect. When you focus, you stop wasting time proving yourself. You start investing time improving yourself. And that changes everything. Your work becomes better. Your mind becomes calmer. Your decisions become clearer. Focus also protects you from burnout. Because when you know what matters, you stop exhausting yourself on what doesn't. You say no without guilt. You slow down without fear. You move forward without panic. If you want 2026 to be different, don't aim to do more. Aim to do what truly matters. Consistently, give your best energy to your values, your learning, your service. Let results take care of themselves. Because when focus becomes your habit, progress becomes inevitable. Most people chase visible success first. They want the applause before the effort. They want recognition before refinement. They want results before responsibility. But life does not work in that order. Outer success is always a reflection. Inner growth is the source. If the source is weak, the reflection will not last. Many people look successful on the outside but feel empty inside. They have achievements but no peace. They have momentum but no meaning. That happens when outer growth runs ahead of inner maturity. Inner growth is quiet work. No certificates, no trophies, no instant validation. It is the discipline to keep your word when no one is watching. It is the courage to correct yourself before correcting others. It is the humility to keep learning. When you are praised, this kind of growth is uncomfortable because it forces you to face yourself honestly. You begin to notice your reactions, your ego, your fears, your excuses, and that awareness can feel painful, but that pain is constructive. Just like a muscle grows only when it is stretched, character grows only when it is challenged. Outer success without inner growth creates arrogance. Inner growth without outer effort creates stagnation. Life asks for balance. Before you are trusted with influence, you are tested with integrity. Before you are given responsibility, you are trained in reliability. Before your voice is amplified, your values are examined. This is why delays are not punishment, they are preparation. When things are slow, life is strengthening your foundation, and foundations are built underground, unseen, uncelebrated. If you rush the stage, the structure may rise quickly, but it will collapse under pressure. Inner growth teaches patience, it teaches emotional regulation. It teaches you how to respond, not react. You stop blaming others for how you feel. You start taking responsibility for how you live. You learn that discipline is freedom, that boundaries are protection, that silence can be powerful. And slowly you begin to trust yourself. That trust is priceless. Because once you trust yourself, you don't need constant reassurance from the world. You can walk alone when needed. You can wait without anxiety. You can work without immediate reward. R&D. Outer success eventually comes, but now it finds someone prepared to hold it. Someone who will not be consumed by pride. Someone who will not collapse under pressure. Someone who will not forget their values when tempted. If you want to win 2026, don't measure growth only by numbers. Measure it by clarity, by consistency, by calmness under stress. Ask yourself, am I becoming more patient, more disciplined, more aware? Because when the inside becomes stable, the outside becomes unstoppable. There is a moment in every journey where success begins to show itself. Progress becomes visible. People start noticing, results start coming. And at that moment, life asks a very important question. Is this success only for you, or will it flow through you? This is where service enters. Service is not about charity alone. It is about intention. It is the shift from asking, "What can I gain?" to asking, "How can I contribute?" When success is driven only by self-interest, it creates ego. Ego isolates. But when success is guided by service, it creates meaning. Meaning sustains. Service keeps you grounded when things go well. It reminds you that you didn't rise alone, that many hands, seen and unseen, supported your journey. A teacher, a friend, a parent, a stranger who showed kindness at the right moment. Service is gratitude in action. When you serve, you stop obsessing over what you lack. You begin appreciating what you can give, and that changes your relationship with success. You no longer chase applause, you chase impact. You no longer measure worth by position, you measure it by contribution. Service also protects the heart. It prevents success from becoming arrogance. It prevents ambition from becoming greed. It reminds you that life is bigger than your personal goals. This doesn't mean you stop growing. It means your growth becomes purposeful. A candle does not lose its flame by lighting another candle. It multiplies light. In the same way, when you help others grow, you don't shrink, you expand. Service does not always require big gestures. Sometimes it is listening without interrupting, encouraging without expecting, helping without announcing. These small acts shape character more than big achievements. And here is something beautiful. Service brings fulfillment that success alone never can. You can achieve a goal and still feel empty, but when you uplift someone, the heart feels full. If you want 2026 to be meaningful, don't ask only, what will I achieve this year? Ask also, whose life will be better because I lived this year? Because at the end of life, people won't remember your titles, they will remember how you made them feel. Service aligns success with humanity, and that alignment creates peace. There comes a point in life where motivation stops knocking on your door. Not because you are failing, but because life is asking you to mature. Motivation is emotional. It rises when things feel exciting. It disappears when things feel difficult. Discipline is different. Discipline stays. Discipline is not about being hard on yourself. It is about being honest with yourself. It is the quiet decision you make when no one is watching. The decision to show up even when you don't feel inspired. The decision to keep your word, especially the promises you made to yourself. Every time you break a promise to yourself, something inside weakens. Not your ability, your self-respect. And every time you keep a promise, even a small one, self-trust grows. Discipline is self-respect in action. It says, my future matters more than my current mood. Most people wait to feel ready, but disciplined people act first, and feelings follow. They understand a deep truth. You don't build discipline by doing what is easy. You build it by doing what is necessary. Discipline is waking up when you want to sleep more. It is staying silent when ego wants to react. It is choosing company. Insistency over comfort. And yes, it is uncomfortable, but so is regret. Discipline is not about perfection. It is about direction. You will fail some days. You will miss some targets. That is human. Discipline is not quitting because of one bad day. It is returning the next day with humility. This is where many people lose momentum. They expect discipline to feel good. It doesn't always, but it feels right. And over time, something changes. What once felt difficult becomes natural. What once required effort becomes identity. You stop forcing discipline. You start living it. And here is the reward. A disciplined mind is a calm mind. You no longer depend on external pressure. You no longer panic when motivation fades. You trust your systems. That trust creates confidence, not loud confidence, quiet confidence, the kind that doesn't need approval, the kind that doesn't rush, the kind that keeps going. If you want to win 2026, don't wait for inspiration. Build habits that carry you even on uninspired days. Respect yourself enough to be consistent. Believe in yourself enough to be patient, because discipline is not a restriction, it is freedom from regret. At the end of every year, people ask, did I win or lose? But life asks a better question. Did you grow? Winning a year is not about controlling every outcome. It is about aligning your effort with trust. There will be moments when things don't go your way. Plans will change, doors will close, timelines will shift. This does not mean you are failing, it means life is redirecting. When you remove complaining, you stop fighting reality. When you remove comparison, you stop doubting your path. When you practice gratitude, you stay grounded. When you focus, you move steadily. When you grow inwardly, you become ready. When you serve, you stay humble. When you live with discipline, you stay strong. All of this leads to one final truth: trust. Trust the timing of your life. Not everything blooms in the same season. Not every effort shows immediate results, but nothing sincere is ever wasted. Every honest step compounds, every patient day prepares, every silent struggle strengthens. If you rush, you may arrive early, but unprepared. If you trust, you arrive ready. So don't ask life to hurry. Ask yourself to stay aligned. Remove the habits that weaken you, strengthen the ones that build you, and walk into 2026 with faith, focus, and humility. Because life does not reward perfection, it rewards persistence with purpose. And remember this: don't let your success make you proud, let it make you grateful. Life is not about being flawless, it is about moving forward with sincerity. And even when the road bends, trust this deeply: every detour, when walked with faith, still leads to destiny. At some point in life, you realize that control is an illusion. You can plan carefully, you can work sincerely, you can do everything right, and still life may surprise you. This is where many people lose peace. The why confuse effort with entitlement. They start believing that because they tried hard, outcomes must obey them. But life doesn't work on contracts. It works on timing. Trusting timing does not mean becoming passive. It means learning to move forward without bitterness. When things don't go your way, the mind immediately looks for someone to blame: circumstances, people, fate, even God. But maturity begins when blame is replaced with curiosity. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? You begin asking, what is this shaping me into? This shift changes everything. Because the truth is, some lessons cannot be learned in comfort. Some strength cannot be built in ease. Some clarity cannot be gained in certainty. Delay teaches patience. Silence teaches self-awareness. Disappointment teaches discernment. If everything happened exactly when you wanted it to, you might arrive faster, but weaker. Life is deeply intelligent. It knows when to stretch you. It knows when to slow you down. It knows when to test your faith, not to break you, but to deepen you. Most people only trust life when it feels generous. Few learn to trust it when it feels difficult. But that is where real faith is formed. Faith is not believing that everything will go your way. Faith is believing that whatever comes your way, you can grow through it. When you remove complaining, you stop arguing with reality. You conserve energy. When you remove comparison, you stop doubting your worth. You reclaim focus. When you practice gratitude, you stop living in scarcity. You begin living in sufficiency. When you discipline yourself, you stop depending on moods. You build reliability. When you serve, you stop being consumed by self. You connect with meaning. All of this prepares you for one thing: trusting the process even when you don't understand it. Life rarely explains itself in advance. Understanding often comes later. Sometimes years later, you look back and realize that delay protected me. That failure redirected me. That rejection refined me. But in the moment, it didn't feel wise. It felt painful. That is why trust is not emotional, it is intentional. You choose it daily. You choose to wake up and show up even when results are invisible. You choose to stay honest even when shortcuts tempt you. You choose to stay kind even when the world feels unfair. This is how character is built. And character determines how far success can safely take you. Success without character creates fear. Fear of losing it. Success with character creates peace. Because you know who you are beyond outcomes. Winning a year is not about having everything figured out. It is about being rooted enough to face uncertainty without losing yourself. Some days you will feel strong. Some days you will feel tired. Some days you will doubt everything you believe. That doesn't mean you are failing. It means you are human. Progress is not a straight line. It is a series of returns. You fall, you pause, you reflect, you return wiser. Returning is not weakness. Returning is strength. People who truly grow are not the ones who never fall. They are the ones who don't let falling define them. So as you walk forward, especially into a new year, don't make promises that come from pressure. Make commitments that come from clarity. Don't say, "This year I will be perfect." Say, "This year I will be honest." Honest about my habits. Honest about my limits. Honest about my effort. Because honesty creates progress. Pretending creates exhaustion. Let 2026 be your why. Year where you stop fighting yourself, where you simplify instead of overloading, where you focus instead of chasing everything, where you trust instead of forcing. You don't need to prove anything to the world. You need to become dependable to yourself. That quiet self-respect will take you further than applause ever will. And remember, success is not just what you achieve, it is who you become while achieving it. If you gain the world but lose humility, peace, and gratitude, the cost is too high. But if you grow steadily, serve sincerely, and stay grounded, even small achievements will feel fulfilling. Life is not asking you to be extraordinary overnight, it is asking you to be sincere daily. Step by step, day by day, with faith. So walk forward gently but firmly. Remove what weakens you. Strengthen what builds you. And trust that even when the road bends, it is still leading somewhere meaningful. Because life does not reward noise, it rewards alignment. And when effort meets faith, when discipline meets humility, when patience meets purpose, the journey itself becomes the victory. Don't let your success make you proud. Let it make you grateful. Life is not about being flawless. It is about moving forward with intention. And when things don't go as planned, remember this quietly, deeply, and without fear. Even detours, when walked with faith, still lead to destiny. My dear friends, life is not asking you to be perfect. It is asking you to be sincere. You don't grow by rolling every outcome. You grow by showing up with faith, even when outcomes are unclear. Do your part with honesty. Work with discipline. Serve with humility, and trust the timing of your life. Because when effort is guided by faith, nothing is ever wasted. Not the struggle, not the waiting, not even the pain. Don't let success make you proud. Let it make you grateful. Don't measure your life by how fast you rise, but by how deeply you grow. And remember this always. When you walk with purpose, patience, and prayer, even the longest road leads you exactly where you need to be. So step forward, not with fear, but with faith. Your journey is unfolding, and the best is not behind you. It is being prepared within you.